It boggles people's minds why someone would go back to their abuser. I mean, Von Helton pulled a gun on her, put a fist in her face, and made her life a living hell. Yet she goes back to him, maybe because she loves the kids. And, women love men who don't like them, I guess. You ever notice the guy who's an asshole to women always seems to get women? Um, that's just the way it is, I guess. I don't totally understand. I know not all women are this way, but Andrea did go back to Von Helton, and maybe there were some people in churches that convinced her because they didn't know the insanity of Von Helton, and but she did go back to him, and that was her choice, and um, you know, there's nothing you can do. People have the right to make their choices, good or bad. But Von Helton wasn't nice about it. He put demands on her. He punished her, even though he was the one who pulled the gun on her and made her leave. He punished her for coming back, and she had to meet his demands because he wants to be in control of her.
Let's see, he did say, I could kill you for this, but he never did it because he loves me too much.
No, I think you misinterpreted what I said. I said, I think you could kill me with this. And I had this in my hand.
I saw you pull out the gun.
I didn't pull it out. I was reaching for a screwdriver. See, John Chacon told her.
Well, I saw the gun.
Well, you saw the gun in your drawer. Where it's at.
And to be honest with you, I was scared of guns.
Well,
not
John,
anymore.
Okay, what happened was John Chacon, when I just like I told you, when I reached into my drawer, John Chacon was talking to her at the time and told her that I was reaching for a gun. Sure did. Told her I was reaching for a gun. And see, even now, she still believes it.
I'm telling the truth. You did say I could kill you for this, but you're not going to because you love me and you wouldn't kill your wife.
No, I would never.
I agree with that. Von would not do that.
You did put
But he had the gun in his hand. Is what you're saying?
I had the mouse like this, dude, and it looks like a fist.
Well, I'm telling the truth.
It looks like a fist.
You did put your fist in my face, but you never hit me.
No, I never hit you, but I had.
That's where temptation comes in. That doesn't mean you have to do it.
Well, the thing with it, holding the mouse, it probably looked like a fist.
Okay. Andrea, Von didn't have the gun in his hand though, right?
No, like he held it for like a couple of seconds, and then he said, I could kill you for this, but he put the gun back up because he knew better to not do it because one, he knew he'd go to jail, two, he would never do that to his wife because he loves me.
No, I never would. But I didn't reach for a gun. I reached for a screwdriver, Andrea.
He called him like he
was reaching for a screwdriver to fix that thing.
Well, that and the knob.
And the knob, like on here. I don't remember the knob, but I do remember that thing on the desk.
Yeah, that too. Mouse is back home, yes. Yes, Mouse is back home. Safe and sound. And doing much better, too. She is detoxing quite nicely, thank you. Yes, she is. There she is. She's doing quite well. Yeah, she's still rambling about God a lot. She is right there.
We all know that Von Helton has done and said many, many, many stupid things. But in my opinion, this tops it all. Von Helton has took Andrea off her medication without consulting a physician, without consulting a psychiatrist. Andrea was prescribed those medications. You do not take someone off their medication. Von Helton does this because he has to control Andrea so much that how dare a doctor give her medication because Von Helton owns Andrea and controls her, or at least tries to. This is abuse by ignorance. This is extremely stupid, especially psychological medication. You do not mess with those. You know, you have to be tapered off them to go off them in the first place. You can't just abruptly take someone off medication and not expect that person to have some kind of a mental breakdown. Because I have known people who are schizophrenic on medication who decided not to take their medication, and the guy was running around the street naked a few days later after he stopped taking his medication. This was a guy that used to live down the street from me. Von Helton doing this just riles me up and stirs my blood up to. I mean, I've had to take several takes at this part of the video because it just inflames me so much that Von Helton did this. He is so stupid, horribly stupid. Abused by stupidity. That's what this is.
You ended up going to the doctor around that time, and you came back on medication. Remember that he told everybody that you came back from the mental hospital. What was the diagnosis then that the doctors gave you for them to prescribe medication to you? What was the diagnosis that they told you that you have in order to be taking these medications?
Right now I'm paranoid schizophrenic.
Was that paranoid schizophrenic, did you say?
Yeah, I'm paranoid schizophrenic.
Okay, that's what we needed to get established. That's all. I'm not going to ask anything else about that.
That's absolutely fine. So James, after that scenario happened, he stopped you from taking medication that would have helped you with,
And I need that.
Yeah.
So you're saying that when you came back, they diagnosed you with schizophrenia, you were supposed to take your medications, and Vaughn said to not take your medications.
Yeah, he didn't want me to become a drug addict.
Okay, do you understand that because you were diagnosed with a medical problem that you needed medication for, it does not mean that you were a drug addict? You know that he was wrong, right, Mouse? He was wrong for telling you that. Because you did need the medication.
Shortly after Andrea coming back home, she made contact with me via Facebook. I don't use that Facebook account anymore. I don't use Facebook anymore. But at that time, I was still using Facebook, and I was surprised that she contacted me. Maybe Vaughn told her to. I don't know. But out of the blue, one day I'm sitting there online. All of a sudden, somebody messages me, and it was Andrea wanting to be my friend on Facebook, and then she started sending me questions every day. About what do you think about this church? What do you think about this church? I was like, well, you're going to Mennonite church, and I know they're pretty good and their doctrine sound. So why don't you just stay there because you're walking distance from their church and everything? And that was kind of the conversation mostly. And then one day I'm sitting there, and it was afternoon. I was getting ready to leave to Nashville, and it's about dark, but it's January, so it gets dark early then. And all of a sudden I get this little message, and she's like, "Hey Darren, Von Helton's acting crazy." And I said, "What's the matter?" And he goes, "He's yelling at me because he wants to have more kids, and I've never agreed to that." And she's like, and Andrea's, we're in text format, but she's talking normally, and she goes, "Will you have a talk with him?" And I'm like, "Okay." So I go over to, do a video call with him, and then next thing I know, or he did a video call with me, and I can't remember which one it was. Probably him, because I don't really know how to do those well. But anyway, one way or the other, next thing you know, me and Von Helton are face to face on our computers. And Von Helton, and I said, Andrew's upset at you because you didn't want to, or you want to have more than one wife. Now, if you know Von Helton, you know he's never going to find another wife. But, it kind of taunting Andrea that. And he's saying, yeah, because she can't get pregnant. She was sterilized. And she says, no, I wasn't. She's in the background. No, I wasn't sterilized. Yeah, you were, because we've been trying to have a child since, he wants another child. He's mad at her because, again, they already have 3, keep in mind that. And they can't pay for them, okay? Andrea, as sweet as she is, she's not a real good mommy, okay? She has temper problems, and she gets upset over just little video games, and she gets upset when the kids, do things, and I love Andrea. I think she's sweet as hell, but she really doesn't have the temperament to be a mom. And Von Helton is even worse as a father. He's totally ignores his children when she's there. When she's there, they're her kids, and he didn't want anything to do with them. That's my observation. And then what happened was, oh gosh, it was just crazy. And she every time she brought something up, he'd start yelling about that. And he's mad at me because I can't be pregnant. And the forced sterilization thing. And then she says, and he promised he would go to church when we come back. He goes, well, I'm not going to church because you're not a lesbian anymore. And she's like, no, I never was. I never was bisexual or whatever. He said bisexual. I didn't say lesbian. And she says, I never was bisexual. Yeah, you were before you left. You were bisexual. And she said no. She was saying no, she wasn't. And Von Helton was saying she was. And then the next thing you know, she just cowered in the corner like this, kind of rocking back and forth in the corner. You can see her in her desk behind Von Helton's shoulder. She just rocking back and forth. And Von Helton's yelling at me. And I said, I told him flat out, I said, I'm not against polygamy, but when you're on welfare, how can you be a polygamist if you want the taxpayers to pay for your polygamy? And he got mad about that. And the next thing you know, I don't know, because this conversation was in January 2015. It's already halfway through 2016, so I'm trying to remember the whole conversation. I do remember, going back and forth about polygamy and going back and forth about Andrea not getting pregnant and going back and forth about his promises. And so he put these conditions on. He mentioned it recently in a room that he put these conditions on Andrea, but he put the conditions on after she came back. See, Von Helton doesn't understand, if you're going to put conditions on, say, hey, if you come back, I'll go to church, but under these conditions, you don't put under these conditions after they're already back. When Andrea comes back, says, well, you have to live up to these conditions for our church. But Von Helton promised he'd go to church. So, and she, regardless, it's not about religion or anything. It's about a promise that Von Helton made to Andrea. If you come back, I will do this. And when she come back, he refused to do that because he added extra things to it. Now you got to do this to get me to do that. You see how his little madness is? And what do you know? A couple days later, Andrea has a nervous breakdown. And he wants to blame it on the trolls. But as you could see, the madhouse that Andrea was living in, Von Helton put her under so much stress, and she couldn't take it. She has a hard time handling stress anyway. She stresses out on video games, on Facebook video games. Those easy little Facebook video games, they can't get frustrating, I guess. I don't know. I don't like playing them, but, some people like playing them and they get frustrated, I guess. My kids used to get frustrated over video games when they were little kids, but if she gets frustrated over video games, then Von Helton wants to put all this extra added stress on her. She couldn't handle it, and she snapped.
Well, I don't see much of a choice but to get a divorce. She was forcibly sterilized, and she's a nutcase. So, yeah. And then plus she's hearing voices telling her to kill me and kill the kids. So, yeah, of course I have to divorce her. I don't have a choice in the matter.
That's not a reason for a divorce, idiot. If you loved her, you would stand by her. If my wife had a nervous breakdown, went in a mental hospital, I wouldn't divorce her. I would support her. I'd go visit her and see what she needed. I'd bring the kids to see her every once in a while. No, not you. You just, I'm going to divorce her because I want to get married to some other woman. That's the truth, isn't it? And now you're not finding any, huh? You thought, well, all these girls talked to me before Andrea came back, and now Andrea came back, and now she's, telling people about how he pulled a gun and all this stuff, and she's not agreeing with me with my polygamy views because I want to have more than one wife on welfare in a single wide trailer and all this other stuff that you're doing.
I have no choice in the matter. Besides, she's not what I married anyway. I married a Wiccan bisexual. Now she's a Christian heterosexual.
Von Helton, you're a coward. No wonder you're afraid of me. Andrea, I'm sorry you got sent to jail. It's Von Helton's fault. You got to realize that Von Helton is a bad person. Von Helton's very selfish and narcissistic, and he only cares about himself. And all you do are there for him to use. Okay, Andrea, do better for yourself. Stay away from him. Take this as a lesson and stay as far away from him as you can.
It was Ma Helton who called the police when she found out that Andrew was back. She's tired of the circus. It's sorry that Andrea had to go through that, but I can understand Ma Helton not wanting to have to support that anymore. The madness that goes on in the little trailer next to hers. It's bad enough with just Von Helton there, and she just didn't want to have to support another mouth to feed, and she did what she had to do. Whether you agree with that or not, I hate that Andrea had to go to jail. Von Helton didn't seem to care. He didn't seem to lift a finger to help her once this happened.
I don't believe in breaking up families, but I think in this case, Andrew needs to stay away from Von Helton. Next thing, he might not threaten with a gun. He may actually use it. Von Helton thinks he can shoot people for just being on his mom's property. If they knock on his door, he thinks he can just shoot them. He's already threatened to kill Kenny KPZ. We know that. We got that video footage. And he pulled a gun on you, Andrea. He may not have pointed that gun at you, but he threatened you with it. He basically said, if you don't do what he wants, you're going to get the gun. And Von Helton's nuts, Andrea. He's a nutter. Stay away from him.
Oh, by the way, just thought I'd tell you, while I'm at it, I am now divorced. Officially. I am divorced. I get the paperwork in a week. My attorney secretary just called me today, said the judge has signed the papers. I get my copy in a week. I am divorced. Know what that means? Fun time! Fun time. Is that right, troll? Ain't that right, trolls? Yeah, it's fun time. Now, I am not without compassion, so I will not do anything during the holiday season. I don't believe in that, and I won't. However, once warm weather breaks, say March, April, whatever, whenever the warm weather breaks, it's game on, motherfuckers. I will get me a pro bono attorney, and we're gonna have us some fun. Oh yeah, we're gonna have us some fun. Ain't that right, Sean Merriman? Ain't that right, Paul Wayman? Oh yeah, we're gonna have us some fun. The destruction of a man's marriage and the endangerment of his children simply because they don't like his opinions on the internet.
I don't think warm weather is ever going to break up there in Kentucky. Nobody, no troll is at fault for the failure of your marriage. You're the one who took Andrea off her medications. You're the one who put her through undue stress. You're the one who spent most of your waking hours on the internet and ignoring her pleas for attention. You did all that, Von Helton. No trolls had any hand in the destruction of your marriage but you, Von Helton. Only you, not Sean Merriman, not Paul Wayman's, not Kenny KPZ, not Secular Opinion. There was no Skype call. Your marriage failed because of your failures. You can never be man enough to owe up to any of your failures, and that is why you continue to fail and fail and fail over and over again. You failed in the Army. You failed in your short stint in college. You failed at everything you've ever tried because you never take anybody's advice, and you always do things stupidly, and that's why you failed, Von Helton. You failed.
And then on top of that, you say you did it for lulz, you did it for the laughs, for kicks. Oh, God. Oh, man. Is the judge going to have fun with your happy ass? I hope to God you guys have the balls to tell the judge that you did this shit for laughs. that'll be interesting. Because the judge won't be laughing, motherfucker.
Do you mean the same judge that saw you for 7 to 8 times when you had your kids taken away by CPS and saw the condition of your house? I don't think the judge is going to side in your favor ever, Von Helton. The trolls did not cause your marriage to fail. You can't take them to court. That's why you haven't taken them to court yet. You've been whining and crying that you're going to take them to court. It's just a threat because you're an abuser, and abusers threaten. When you get backed into a corner, you make a threat. And the court is just another threat of your abusive nature. That's all it is.
Bet on it. I don't think the judge will think it's funny. Hey, Kenny, how much is a marriage worth? Are you afraid of the dark, Kenny? Yeah.
The reason you're so upset at Kenny KPZ is because Kenny KPZ held a mirror up to your face and you didn't like it. He told Andrea that she needs to run for her own safety. Kenny KPZ ended up being right, didn't he? And you don't like it. It eats you up inside because you know Kenny KPZ was right. He didn't say anything that was illegal. What he said was the truth, and you can't handle the truth, can you, Von Helton?
How much is a marriage worth? You trolls need to be thinking about that. How much is a marriage worth? Now, I'm not a judge. I'm not a court. You know. So it's up to them to decide how much a marriage is worth, isn't it?
How much is a marriage worth? Maybe you should have thought of that before you pulled a gun on her, before you put your fist in her face, before you took her off her medication that she needed, before you stressed her out to no end, before you neglected her, before you put insane demands upon her, before you made her do all the housework and all you did was take out the trash, before you refused to change diapers. How much is a marriage worth, Von Helton? How much? It's not worth much to you because you don't pay for anything. Isn't that right? Well, you pay for things that you get donations for, but that's a whole different topic. But Von Helton, you're the one who pulled the gun on her. You're the one who put your fist in her face. You're the one who took her off her medications. You're the one who destroyed your marriage. And that there is nothing no troll could have done that could have... it's just stupidity. You don't take ownership for anything, Von Helton. You ruined your marriage. You ruined Andrea's life. And you did it all yourself. You have nobody else to blame but you. You want to know who did it? Go look in your mirror. That's who ruined your marriage. This is a post from Facebook about a year ago where Andrea is hoping to get custody of the kids. She definitely loves those kids and misses them very much. So any of you think that Andrea just left and doesn't care about her kids, I'm sure that haunts her all the time, that she can't see the kids that she bore, held in her womb for all that time. She misses those kids, and it's only natural. It's only natural that Irv, old Bonnie boy, responded to it. And I'm going to close up in on here and show you some of the insanity, the insane demands, the abuse that he continues to try to put Andrea through. He starts out by claiming that she had sex with 15 men and that she made hate videos slandering him. Well, the truth is not slander, Von Helton. I'm sorry about your luck. This is a beginning. I mean, this not the beginning, but this is just this is his response, which is so abusive. It isn't even funny. I beg you to find more abusive speech than this particular post. As you see, he demands that she lose weight. She has to lose weight in order to see her kids again. What kind of insanity is that? A judge is going to agree to that. A judge decides whether she gets to see her kids or not Von Helton, and he can't base it on her losing weight. Then he demands that she changes her religion. That is downright evil to make that demand. Religion is someone's personal beliefs, and he wants to control her all the way down to her soul. That is diabolical at best. That is, I mean, I don't even have words to explain how wrong that is. No judge would even give Von Helton ultimate power over a gerbil. The very words he used, ultimate power, then he puts it in bold capital letters with parentheses or with quotation marks on each side. Ultimate power over his kids. Not even a parent who's never been in trouble has ultimate power over your kids. To even say that is he's a controlling, abusive, manipulative piece of crap to even claim that or even to make that kind of a statement. This right here is he's demanding her to tell a lie, to put a lie in writing that she claims is slander, but the truth is not slander. He wants her to twist the truth to make him look good because he doesn't like to be exposed. He doesn't want the truth told about him, and so he wants Andrea to lie. That is what he's really saying here. We all know, everybody knows about Von Helton, so will not face charges of slander, defamation, and libel, which is ridiculous. So I guess Andrea is going to be taken to Lowell's court with all us trolls, I guess, which will never happen because the truth is not slander. The truth is not, it could be defamation, I don't know. It's not liable. She didn't say anything in writing anyway. Von Helton's stupid. He's a real estate lawyer, not any other kind of lawyer, I guess, so he doesn't know what liable means. Libel. He defamations his own character, if you ask me. Showing this picture again to go to the bottom part of it where it says 10 grand in back child support she owes him. He can't decide how much child support she owes. She's on limited income. She can't work because of her disabilities, and she doesn't owe a penny in child support. And the courts decide how much you pay in child support and how much you owe in child support. So Von Helton's way off base on this one. In conclusion, I think I made my case that no trolls or nobody's responsible for the destruction of Von Helton's marriage other than Von Helton himself. Andrea's not even responsible in the least bit. Only Von Helton destroyed his marriage. Von Helton abused Andrea in multiple ways. He abused her spiritually by demanding her to become a pagan. He abused her emotionally, and I don't even have to go into that. I think this video fully expresses that. He threatened her with a death threat by showing her a gun and saying he could kill her for not doing what he tells her, basically. I mean, and he put a fist in her face because she threw a pop can at his computer, which is his livelihood. He loves his internet life more than his family. He not only neglected his kids, he neglected his wife. Any woman who would even dare think about going to Von Helton, stay away from him. He's dangerous. You're better off by yourself. I don't care how lonely a woman is. She doesn't need to go into that madness. Von Helton cannot handle having a wife. He wants to control her and use her and manipulate her to do his will. And he doesn't even have control of his own life, let alone try to control somebody else's life. Von Helton has no business being in a relationship with anybody. He might as well just buy a hooker, because that's the only way he's going to have sex. He should have sex. Period. I don't even know why I said that, but the poor hooker that would have to smell his BO would be, I could imagine that would be horrible, wouldn't it? This is not a hate video, because I don't hate Von Helton. I don't hate anybody. Hate is not something I do. I despise Von Helton. I'm sickened by Von Helton. But I got to understand that not everything that Von Helton does is fault. Some of it is because of he has some mental illness. I don't think he's schizophrenic. I mean, maybe a little bit. He just definitely got some paranoia in there. So, but the other thing about Von Helton, and this is putting it bluntly, he's just downright stupid. Did he take her off her medication because he's just that stupid? He claims he has medical knowledge, that he was an EMT and that he worked in his mom's nursing home as an orderly, and that gives him all this medical knowledge. Von Helton has proven that he has zero medical knowledge, because anybody from a nurse to a CNA to a LPN to an EMT, a paramedic, a phlebotomist, a physician's assistant, any of those nurses' aides would know that you don't take somebody off medication. That's one of the most basic things. Nobody prescribes medication to anybody but a doctor. Nobody takes somebody off medication but a doctor. That's the only person that has the right to do that, unless you're on the medication. I guess you have a right to take yourself off the medication, but that's just ignorant, really. You can go see a different doctor to have another doctor take you off the medication. But for Von Helton to detox his wife off of medication just shows that he's not capable of being married, period. And taking this disabled woman and putting her through that kind of abuse. And now we know Von Helton has children under his care. Doesn't that make you sick?
That's going to do it. You all have a pleasant day and better tomorrow.